Welcome to another edition of What Barrie's Talking About from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakely. On this week's program, the recycling rules are changing in the new year with some new items you can toss in the bin. A couple of Barrie Colts are off to Team Canada tryouts for the World Juniors. Another coldest night of the year is around the corner with a new walk this year in Innisfil and something for your taste buds. Top Chef Barrie is back in early January. Always a big ticket, and they always go fast. We get the conversation started after this. Some changes to how things work with your blue bin coming in January, a new collector, and some additional items you can put into the bin. Let's get you ready. Barrie 360's Ian Maclennan tracked down Allen Langdon, CEO for Circular Materials, to get some questions answered.
We've seen a lot of posts on social media about change coming to Blue Box collection in the new year, including for Barrie, Orillia, the separated cities, as well as the county of Simcoe. What is changing in the new year?
So effective January 1st, Mterra will be the recycling collection contractor in Barrie, Orillia, and the county of Simcoe. They're already the existing collection contractor in Barrie, but it will be a change in contractor for Orillia and the county of Simcoe. And so residents in those communities, a lot of new customer service contact, and we'll see new trucks on the street in those communities.
And if someone's saying, what does it mean to me? What does it mean?
For residents in all those communities, they really won't experience much change at all in terms of the recycling collection service. It's important to note that under this transition, producers, so the retailers, consumer goods companies, restaurant companies are now responsible for both funding and operating the program. So that's taking the cost away from taxpayers and municipalities, and that cost will now be borne by producers. So probably the biggest change they'll see is the move to a unified material list, including new materials. So that'll be effective January 1st. There'll be one consistent list across the province for all materials being accepted in the Blue Box.
And what sort of items do you know offhand that can be added to the Blue Box that currently cannot be?
New materials that'll be included starting January 1st will be hot and cold beverage cups, deodorant and toothpaste tubes, ice cream tubs, black plastic containers, as well as frozen juice containers. And a complete list of the materials is available on our website at circularmaterials.ca/Recycle Ontario.
So the more items can be added, and I guess that makes it easier for those that must use the Blue Box. Is this a province-wide, uniform approach? Is that better all around for everybody, even the producers?
Well, I think it's better for everyone. One, I think producers have targets to meet, so we need to collect as much material as possible, and that's part of the reason for expanding the list of materials. I think, too, there's always challenges in educating people about what can and can't go in the Blue Box. So I think it's going to be easier to educate residents knowing that it's the same everywhere. So if people are moving from one community to the next, the list doesn't change. And I think it also allows us to do more province-wide promotion education. So rather than having to do everything by community to community, which is still important, we'll also be able to use some broader messaging on a province-wide level on what can or can't be included in the Blue Box.
I'm a homeowner in Barrie or a business owner in Barrie, or maybe it's Springwater, tiny township. Who do I contact if I have questions or need support? And do I need a new Blue Box? Do I need anything new?
Yeah, so they should call their local collection contractor, Mterra, for questions related to replacement of recycling containers, missed collections, or what they can recycle. And the contact information is available on each community's dedicated webpage on our website. So for Simcoe County, it would be circularmaterials.ca/Simcoe. And for Barrie, same thing, circularmaterials.ca/Barrie, and then Orillia, circularmaterials.ca/Orillia.
Somebody was commenting to me that, we just got these bigger boxes in Barrie. Simcoe County's been using them for a while in terms of, for waste collection and what have you. So I guess this is always evolving, isn't it, in terms of what we recycle and what we put out at the curbside.
Yeah, I think, look, this is, Blue Box recycling has been around for 50 years, and it's seen a huge evolution. The original Blue Boxes was really about collecting newspapers and tins and glass. And of course, now the array of items available for collection is expanded greatly. So I think, we're going to continue to see evolution. We're January 1st, 2026 for us is really a starting point. We're pretty soon going to start managing the Blue Box. And I think from that point forward, we're going to be looking continually at opportunities to improve and optimize the system.
Barrie Colts still sitting tall in the saddle. Couple of road wins last weekend, and a couple of the boys may be sitting a little taller in the saddle. Invited to the Team Canada tryouts for the upcoming World Junior Hockey Championship. Our Julius Hearn gets the goods from Colts broadcaster and writer Gene Pereira.
Gene, I think this was a very successful weekend for the Colts. A 4-1 win in Ottawa, and then back-to-back, 2-1 win in Kingston. Start with that win in Ottawa first, because you wrote that this was a really complete win for this Barrie Colts team, and one of the coaching staff was very impressed with. What do you think, in your mind, made it that the coaching staff was that impressed with the way they played?
Well, I think it was the dominance from start to finish, and all around. I mean, you really limit the chances. Ben Revick has just been outstanding, but they didn't even for this one. They really limited the chances defensively, offensively. They created numerous chances, and it's one of those things where the first period, Barrie played really well and had numerous chances. Federoff was just outstanding in goal for Ottawa, and despite that, it was 1-1. But you expect a bit of a pushback. Ottawa has been an outstanding team this year, one of the better teams in the OHL, and you expected that pushback, but it never came. Barrie kind of kept the foot on the pedal, and continued that dominance of play. And it was one game where they kind of got Ottawa down, and they never let them back up. And then they got goals from some secondary guys. Dario had a nice goal, and Cole Bodwin, the native and the people just coming in on his hometown, and was just flat out dominant. That line of him, Henning, and Schneid were just outstanding all game and dominant.
4 of the 6 goals this weekend in those 2 games were guys that you would imagine are going to be playing in the World Juniors later this month, and I'm sure we're going to get to that in a little bit. But first, for Ben Revick, 39 saves in Kingston. It's the 8th time this year he's faced at least 40 shots. Is him playing back-to-backs like this something that is sustainable for the rest of the year?
He's proven that he can be that number one guy, and the game against Kingston was a bit of a trap game in the sense that a lot of focus on Ottawa. Ottawa's been one of the better teams. They came in earlier and beat Barrie in a close game, and Barrie, like I said, was probably their best game of the season. And you come into Kingston that played them tough the week before, and Barrie's play. I think Kingston, probably deserves the better fate, but Ben Revick again was the difference in that win in Kingston on Saturday. And credit to the goaltender. He was the goaltender of the month in November, and he just picked right up here in December and just kept it going. And he's shown that he can play these back-to-back nights, and it's proof right there. You face a tough Ottawa team the night before, and you come right back the next afternoon, and you're just outstanding against Kingston.
All right, let's get to these, the biggest news, I guess, of the week. Kayshawn Aitchison, Cole Bodwin named to the World Junior Championship training camp roster at least, but I'm sure that those guys are going to be on the final roster. What does it mean for those two guys specifically, especially Kayshawn Aitchison, who hasn't been on that stage yet?
Kayshawn, I think, it's just been a whirlwind of the past year. You look at it, getting drafted, obviously, with first round by New York Islanders. Him and Cole went under 18 together. Kayshawn setting franchise records in terms of goals by a defenseman for a single season and an overall. Again, and then just picking up this year right where he left off last year and being the leading goal scorer. And I think, talking to him, he said, it was a goal right from the start of the season to make this team. It was a big focus of his, and I think it gets to a situation where here he is, a first-year guy, and I don't think there's any question that he's going to be on that team. They're going to cut a forward, a goaltender, and a defenseman, but Kayshawn and Bodwin's spots are pretty much guaranteed, especially with the way they both play.
For Cole Baudouin, considering how the tournament ended for him last year, is there some kind of feeling of unfinished business for him?
Yeah, I think there is among them all, and talking to Keyshawn, he said that him and Cole have been talking about that, right? That they feel that they want to avenge that last year, losing out, not getting even a medal, and look, for these kids that play on a Canadian team, it's unique in the sense that it's just not a medal; it's the gold medal, right? Anything that less is in their eyes, not a successful tournament, and but it's the pressure that they kind of want, and they're looking to avenge that. And I think Canada, when you look at the lineup and what they're going to have back, I mean, Michael Bisa, you're going to have some guys, Pareka, you're going to have some guys that come back from the NHL as well. So this is going to be a pretty talented lineup with a chance here to get right back on the top of that podium.
Yeah, it seems like from what I've seen in reaction on social media, a lot of Canadian hockey fans are really confident about the roster Canada has this year. And, they expect the gold medal, like you said, not just a medal, but, to win that World Junior Championship. To Sweden, because Gabriel Eliasson was not named to Sweden's roster, there was a thought that he had a very good chance to, but in turn he wasn't last week. Was there any surprise from that on his end?
Yeah, I think for Gabriel, there was some talk this year that he'd be in a second-round pick of Ottawa. And you look at him defensively, he's just forward. He's just one of those big guys staying home. And, I think the question with these tournaments is penalties. And, Gabriel, obviously one of the leading penalty minute guys in the Ontario Hockey League, that's always an option, it's always a concern going to these World Junior tournaments. And for Sweden, probably here, it was, they kind of balanced the risk-reward here. And unfortunately for Gabriel, he's not on that lineup, but I don't think there's any doubt that he's capable of playing at that level, moving forward. And I think he's been a bit better here this season in terms of that. And, look, you don't want him to lose that physical edge. It's a big part of his game, and I think a lot of it is with his size. He's able to kind of dominate players physically, in close and so on. And but he's been much better in that manner. And going forward, I think for him now he's going to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder to prove what a dominant player can be. And that Sweden should have left him off the lineup.
Yeah, Finland hasn't named a roster yet, but Emil Hemming is expected to be named to that. But also another player from the Colts that got some big news this week. Justin Hanser was named to the CHL top prospects roster in the OHL at least. For a young player like him, what does that mean? Kind of having a breakout season to be named to that roster.
Yeah, it's great to see. And Justin went through last season. He got some. Into the lineup as a forward, and kind of rotating between forward and defense. And this year he's become a staple back on that blue line, and he's one of the players that they've had to count on, with suspensions to Keyshawn Aitchison, Eliasson at times, and he's got a much bigger role, and you're starting to see the confidence as well offensively from him, where he's taking the puck more, and you've seen him, set up some nice goals, score some nice goals, and I think he's taking his game to another level here. And it's good to see him get rewarded with that opportunity to go play in the top prospects game where he's able to show his game among the top peers in this draft class. And I think for Justin, you could see it. You could see it last year, and this year especially. He's just been a player that Barrie's counting on more and more defensively back there, and it's credit to him. He worked hard to get to this point, and now he's going to get this big opportunity here.
So this weekend will start Thursday at home to Owen Sound, then home again on Saturday against Niagara. Losing a couple players, this week and for some weeks to come, not having those key players in the lineup, without them, will it give, GM Marty Williamson a better idea of what to address in a possible trade over the next month or so?
Yeah, I think, the question with his team is, the secondary scoring, and that's a big thing. And we're going to find out a lot over this next month as they look for guys, who's going to be those guys that step up. I mean, Barrie Stewart had a nice goal in Kingston the other night, and a nice shot that got a bit of a break on the bounce off, but it was a nice shot to begin with. And he's a guy that they're going to look for. Carter Rose, Solandra. I mean, you got Solandra. You got to finish that fix. The idea that he's going to come around and that he can start scoring. He's played really well. Schneid's another guy. There are guys here that they're going to look to step up to fill that offensive void, especially once Hemming leaves up front. And Sementsov's going to come up from Newmarket, the first-round pick. So some guys are going to get opportunities. Sam Black, come back in the lineup and get an opportunity. So it's a chance for these young guys to show the coaching staff that they're there and they can play bigger roles. And it's an opportunity over this next month. We're going to find out a lot about this team in the sense of the secondary scoring and just how much they're going to have to, at the trade deadline, make those moves. I mean, they've relied heavily on Bowden, Hemming, and Aitchison. They've been dominant offensively, and now it's going to be an opportunity for some of these other guys to step up and help fill that void while they're gone.
Plus, I'm sure if Calvin Crombie comes back from injury, right around when the World Junior Tournament starts, I'm sure that's going to be a huge add for this Colts team. Any update on when he's expected to return?
I think, from what we're hearing, it's going to be after Christmas and New Year's, and it's a big loss. I mean, Calvin is, again, one of those guys that can score, and he just brings a physical element up there in the forward line. And he's been a leader on this team, and it was a big loss. Asadorian got banged up there, but the hope is, from what I understand, is that he'll be right back in the lineup, that he didn't need to sit the game in Kingston, that they were just, being careful. And so there's opportunity for these guys. But, you look at it, I mean, that's, Bowden, Hemming, Calvin Crombie, that's 3 of your top 6 out of the lineup. So, these other guys, you want opportunities. Here's your chance to kind of show the coaching staff that you can play those major minutes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This next month and a half is going to be a huge proving ground for a lot of these bottom 6 and fringe lineup players, Gene. Really appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Julius.
This is what Barrie's talking about from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakely, joined by Amanda Fellows, Manager of Community Programs for CFS. Coldest night of the year, not new in itself, Amanda, but it will be new to Innisfil in 2026.
It is new in Innisfil, yeah. We're really excited to be the organization chosen for that community. So you're right, it's not new. It's a really reputable event that we're really proud to be a part of.
Let's talk about the event in itself first, and then we'll get into the intricacies of the night in Innisfil. Mm-hmm. What is Coldest Night of the Year? What are you hoping to achieve?
So Coldest Night of the Year is a walk that's run all across Canada. It has historically been focused on organizations that support people who are living in poverty, people who are homeless, or supporting folks who are homeless. It has evolved with time to also include organizations like ours that really focus on the preventative elements of homelessness. So we are primarily a mental health organization, and so when we address mental health, then we support preventing the risk of homelessness. And so it happens February 28th. The organization is hoping to raise $20,000 to support the work we're doing in Innisfil. You can come out and walk a 2K, walk a 5K, bring your friends and family, but it's a really cool event.
Did it at one time extend for many hours, like an overnight kind of thing?
I think historically that has been a part of it.
I thought I remembered that.
Yeah, it was really about walking all through the night to really kind of give people that experience of what it's like to be out on the streets. That has changed since then. But yeah, it's really meant to help community members truly understand what it's like for people who are facing poverty.
And it's such a big issue now.
It is a huge
issue, and the more we can do to help, the better.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And we see, like, we are having a socioeconomic crisis, right, in Simcoe County across the country, and more folks who have income and are working are experiencing poverty and not able to afford things. And so events like this are really important right now.
So you've been chosen to look after the Coldest Night of the Year walk in Innisfil. So the funds raised there, did they get channeled back through you to the work you're doing?
Yes. So the money we raise in Innisfil is going to stay in Innisfil. So currently our organization provides counseling services. We run services for older adults. We run services for immigrants. And we're doing a lot of that work in Innisfil. We also have a youth program called Youth Call that provides counseling services and engagement services in Innisfil, which has been very popular. And unfortunately, we're seeing more and more youth who are really precariously housed, couch surfing, not able to meet their basic needs. And so the work we're doing there is really critical. And so we're hoping this event will help us to be able to sustain the work that's happening there.
The event is not until the end of February.
Correct.
But now's a good time to start getting your ducks in a row and organized, because you want to have a team together, right?
We do, yeah. So we're hoping to have many walkers as a part of the event. So if you're looking to get involved and you want to come out and walk, we'd really love that. And so we've already started getting walkers and already started raising money, which is really exciting. And so we're looking for more people to come on board. If you want to be a team captain, if you want to walk in the event, if you're looking for a way to sponsor an event, we also are looking for sponsors.
Is there a limit as to how many people can be taking part?
That's a great question. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever seen a limit on any Coldest Night of the Year event. So the more the merrier.
Yeah, so you can have many teams, many captains. What if somebody just wants to come as an individual?
Totally can do that. And the organization will need also volunteers that day. So if you're not necessarily interested in walking, please come out. There's lots of work to be done. And so we're certainly interested in having volunteers too. So
you'd probably like to get to those people sooner rather than later, just to let them know what would be expected and whether they're still interested in helping out.
100%. So you can, there's a Coldest Night of the Year has a great website. There's an Innisfil specific site. If you just drop that in Google, and you'll find CFS on that website and lots of ways to connect with us, or you can just connect directly with the organization.
What other kind of information are people going to find on that website? There's just so much that goes into this, and so much that many questions that people have.
Yeah. So you'll be able to find information around the route, the agenda for the day. You'll really, looking at the website helps you really understand the flow of how things are going to go. There'll also be a meal that day, so that information is on there. Our sponsor information will be on there, all of the teams, all of the walkers. So any information you're really looking for the event is really clearly laid out on that site.
All right. The date for the event is?
February 28th.
And the time is?
It starts at 4 p.m.
Starts at 4. And what's the route that we're taking?
So we're taking off from the Innisfil Town Square, and then the 2K and 5K start and end there. And you can see the map on the website.
People can come back and listen to this interview again to get more information, or they can go to a website,
cnoy.org, and you'll be able to find us there.
Thank you so much for coming in. Thanks for doing this, and we'll look forward to the walk in February.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan.
Are your taste buds tingling? Top Chef Barrie returns in early January, a culinary delight to start the year, but you have to have a ticket, and they go fast. Here again is Ian Maclennan with head chef Randy Feltus and his self-named lackey, Peggy Hill.
Let's get it. First of all, when is it happening? And for people who aren't familiar with Top Chef.
Okay, Top Chef is going down January 10th at Liberty North. Doors open at 6:30. What happens? Every person that shows up gets a token, and then they get to go from station to station eating all the chef's different signature dishes. Whatever dish they like the best, they can vote on. Whoever gets the most votes takes down the title of Top Chef.
It's very exciting, and I think a lot of people know what Top Chef is. We have hundreds and hundreds of people every year.
Yeah,
and it's a really good time.
How long has it been in around?
We should know this, but I'm going to guess 6 or 7 years.
He's only kept me around for about 4, but it's longer.
Okay.
Well, it sells out every single year. This year, we're actually limiting the seating. We're only going to do one seating because every year the food gets better, and this will allow the chefs to actually make more creative and more elaborate and hotter dishes. So we're excited about that.
And take their time.
Well, the neat thing is, I've told people said they actually discover, right in my own backyard, there's some pretty darn good food.
Well, Simcoe County's a foodie town.
Yeah.
There are no joke. We have a lot of really good restaurants. And this year, alcohol's included, which doesn't get any better than that.
It doesn't get any better. The chefs are going to be pairing some kind of cocktail with their dish. There's also going to be some wine tasting, some cocktail tasting, some beer. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
And for the chefs themselves too, this is it's a fun time, but it's a bit of notoriety too.
Oh, they take
it's
this
huge
serious.
notoriety.
Yeah.
To win amongst your peers, that's a pretty big deal.
I think that's the reason why the chefs take it so seriously. I mean, to be a chef, you're always quite competitive, but to have that plaque on your wall for the year and what it'll do for your restaurant sales if you win
100%.
is absolutely craziness. It's the best advertising you can do, so you know they're coming in swinging as hard as they can swing.
Oh yeah.
Have you tried some of the, obviously
I have tried the food, and last year I picked the winner. And
Oh, you
I'm
did
never
pick the
doing
winner.
that again because that's not fair.
it's stress for you too?
Oh, it's stressful because it's all so good. And the portions are so decent. People think you're going to get a bite full, and yet they leave there so full. And it's just one of the funnest nights, and it sells out every year. So please do not snooze on this because, again, we only have one sitting. It's more exclusive this year.
It is the world's greatest stocking stuffer, and anybody that likes food or a foodie, they want to be in the room.
Talk about the alcohol component to
Yes.
it, and obviously that's one component, but do you have to come up with different ideas, or do you work with the chefs too to say, hey, let's change things up a bit? Or
We're always in talks with the chefs, and we're asking them what they would do to make the evening better, and it was their idea to say we can't do 700 covers over the course of 4 or 5 hours. We only want to do, and we want the room to have a bit more energy this year, so we've hired a band, and so we're trying to throw it as a kitchen party. Just imagine the most elaborate, amazing kitchen party. You're going from kitchen to kitchen, trying something, sipping on something, and a little bit of rock and roll in the background. It's going to be amazing.
So fun.
And the website again for information and tickets, localicious.ca. And that's our program for this week. Thanks to Ian and Julius for their input, and to you for listening. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe to What Barrie's Talking About. You can also keep up with What Barrie's Talking About on Blue Sky and X at Barrie360, on our website, Barrie360.com, and there's our daily Kickstart podcast available from any streaming service and on our website. I'm Dan Blakely. Hope you'll join us again next week.